Hello, fellow humans, martial artists, and people who fight for love. My name is Tanya. I am a personal trainer in Switzerland in the Zurich area, and this is my Fight for Love podcast. Or if you're tuning in on YouTube, this is my channel, Cats, Coffee, and Kickboxing. And very nice to have you here. I was actually gonna do something about acquiring a six-pack in this episode. I prepared everything, but I just didn't quite feel the vibe. I didn't really want to talk about that. And I mean, guys, it's raining, it's fall, it's freaking almost October. So I've been thinking, like, who the hell cares? We can just eat and hang out. It's winter coming up. We need something to keep us warm. So I'm not going to talk about a six-pack and how to acquire one. Might do this some other time. If you want to hear that or like hear me talk about it, let me know in the comments. Let me know on my social media. It's not like I have I'm over here acting like I have like 1 million subscribers. I don't even have 1,000 subscribers. I don't even have 100 subscribers. I'm not even sure if I have 10 subscribers, but let me check. Talking about YouTube, I do have, I have 22 subscribers. So my 22 subscribers will let me know if you want me to do an episode about how to get a six-pack in the future. 22 subscribers. I love you. Thank you for being subscribed to me. If you haven't subscribed yet and you're watching this, please consider subscribing. If you're subscribed to me, I love you. Thank you so much. It's such an honor to have you here. Please don't leave me. You're all I have, honestly. Appreciate you. So I just changed the entire thing today into what you see in this title, whatever it is. I haven't decided yet because I just made the decision to switch it up, which means, again, once more, I'm totally unprepared. So here we go. No, I'm not. Actually, I'm not. I made this plan. I was thinking about like doing a little online course to help people to fall in love with themselves. It was supposed to be a little empowerment course to help people to to just get empowered. You guys know I'm a self-defense. I did self-defense trainings. I'm a martial artist. Empowering women is a big thing that I advocate for, that I try to teach people about. Empowering women is something that's really important to me. Empowering people in general, but especially women. And so I a while ago, I designed this course to help people to like kind of ask themselves the right questions to fall in love with themselves. Because I feel like not being confident and not like dare to do things that might make us happy, like getting out of our comfort zone, trying new things, is something that stands and falls with the way we perceive ourselves and the relationship we have with ourselves. So this is where fall in love with yourself came from. So I'm going to talk about this today. Also, I don't know if you can see this. I just this morning I had a sparring session with the girls. Things girls do on Sundays, sparring sessions. It was awesome. It was really cool. But I have this kind of a permanent makeup thing going on now. Yeah, you can see it a little bit. And yeah, just FYI. Okay, so I divided this thing into three parts. Part one is called Who Am I? Who do I want to be? Part two is Get Out There, Confront Your Fears. And part three is Reflecting and Looking Back. And I'm going to take you through all of these three parts. And yeah, I really hope you can take something away from this. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I really hope you guys like this and you can work with this. So I did make this little, very colorful, pretty little sketch where I made like a circle with different colors, where I start in the middle, and then we're going to the outer layers, like layer by layer. And that's what I want to walk you through today. So again, the goal of this course was to empower people, to kind of help people in getting more confident in, I know it's a long process, obviously, but in just kind of asking themselves the right questions to get themselves on this journey to become more powerful, to become more confident, to just become more aware of who you want to be, where you want to go in life, and more aware of your strength and what you can actually, what you can do. Because remember, I always like end this episode with, you are stronger than you think. And it's not just something I say, it's something I truly believe in. We have a lot of power in us, and we just don't always realize it. And to me, it's really sad imagining that people go through life and have all these ideas of who they could be and just never seem to try to get there because they think they can't, or because they think it's like out of reach, when in reality it's not. It's just, you just have to take the first step, and then a second and a third. And sometimes it just it just falls with us not believing we can do it. So that's why I created this. This is who this is for, but of course also for people who are on their journey. I think here I put some questions in here that a lot of us, or all of us, I think, can profit from. So let's just start. Fall in love with yourself. I want to start with the idea of getting to know yourself. And sorry, I'm going a little bit back and forth here with my notes. I want to start with, I want to ask you, like, you can do this with me if you want. You can pause the video when you need to. You can just write, like, get a notepad and write these things down. I think it's really helpful if you do this. Just like it was a class that I was actually planning to do. I never did it, by the way. I haven't done it yet. Just because I just start things and sometimes don't do it, sometimes do them. And yeah, I hope this helps you. So anyway, let's first look at your weak spots. And I want you to be really honest with yourself. I want you to write down, what can I change? Like literally, I can't talk. Literally write it down. What can I change? And then write down, what can't I change? So first section will be, what can I change? And the second section will be, what can't I change? And I want you to think about your weak spots, things that you, just think are your weak spots. Write them down and put them into categories of, what can I change and what can't I change? And then when you're done, again, you can pause this. You can do this right now and pause this podcast or this video. And I'll just let you. All right. I'm assuming you're done. Or you can also do this like with your, like, just think about these things. But I think it's more efficient if you just write it down, but whatever. So you have these things, like you have what can I change? And you have what can't I change? Let's start with what can't I change. With everything you put into that category, with everything, ask yourself, really, can't I change it? And if you really, 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 like, be honest, if you really can't change it, then ask yourself, is it really that bad? I know sometimes we have this idea of not being able to do certain things, and it seems like it's like the worst thing ever. But when we go through the process of really like imagining what that actually means, usually the outcome is not that bad. So really ask yourself, what's the worst that can happen? Like, I can't change this. So what's like the worst that can happen? Usually it's something that has to do with ourselves and not with anybody else. So if there's something you can't change, then ask yourself if you really can't change it. And if you can't, then ask yourself, is it really that bad? Like, what's the worst that can happen? Then the thing of what can I change? Obviously, we have something that you need to look at right here. If you find something in the category of what can I change, ask yourself how. How can you change it? What steps could you take? How could you take action to change that fact? Like, do you really need to change it? And if you do, then what can you do to change it? If it's really something that makes you unhappy, truly unhappy, and you want to change it, you have the power to change things. And really ask yourself, what can I do to change that? And if it's like a huge thing, if it's something that you feel like you could never do, break it down into tiny steps. Tiny, tiny, tiny steps. One step at a time. It's like imagine like a ladder. You start from the bottom and you work yourself up to the top. You don't always have to go boom, all the way up super fast. Things take time. So if there's something you can change, ask yourself how. Develop a plan. Imagine how you get there one step at a time. Take your time. This is really important too. Also, this is part one still. Okay. Also, I want you to, and this is really important, and I'm sure you've heard this before, I want you to start watching negative thought patterns towards yourself. Because usually the way we think of ourselves or how we talk to ourselves is not that nice. Like, we would never talk to our friends that way. And I want you to just, in the first step, like, recognize whenever you talk bad to yourself, things like, I can't do it, I can't do this, or oh, so stupid of me to make that mistake. Be aware of how you talk to yourself. Catch yourself talking to yourself that way. You don't have to change it overnight. You can't. Once you have these, or when you have these negative thought patterns towards yourself, it does take time to change them. But first step is just to recognize them in the moment and think about how you could replace them. I think I've talked about this earlier, like thought of, hey, I can't do this, like replace it with, I can't do this yet, or I can't do this at the moment, which leaves opportunity for you to know you can get there if you want to. I would even go so far as to say, do an exercise every night where you say 3 to 5 things, nice things to yourself. Like, it can be something you've done that was really cool. It can be like, oh, I like my eyes, or my makeup was on point today, or I did a really good job at this, that, whatever. Just if you go to bed and you say 3 or 5, like between 3 and 5 things that you did well or that you like about yourself that day, it can really give you a sense of appreciating yourself. Also, what you can do is list, like, have a little diary next to your bed and just list between 3 and 5 achievements that you've done. Like, one thing is just to, like, say nice things to yourself, and the other thing is to just list achievements of things you've done. And I really want you to emphasize the question in this first part of we're still at the part of getting to know yourself. I really want you to ask yourself the question, who do I want to be? What kind of person do I want to be? And you don't have to change everything about you. Please don't think that. But sometimes we want to be like, we want to have parts that we think we don't have, but we can develop them. we sometimes want, like, an example. I always wanted to be a fighter. I always wanted to be a martial artist. But to me, in my mind, when I was younger, it was just something other people did. I don't know why. I just always thought like fighting is something other people do, not me. And I wanted to be a fighter, but or just like a martial artist, somebody who spars and things like that. But I just kind of, it was out of my reach because for some reason I wasn't in contact with this world. It wasn't a part of my everyday life. It took me a long time to realize that I had to go actively search and surround myself with people in that environment to kind of get in there myself. And I could just like freaking join a gym and start doing it. Sometimes the solution is easier than we think. It was so far away from me when I was younger, and now it's so like it's my everyday life, just because like just practicing, just going to practice, just thinking about it, talking about it, coaching other people with personal trainings, with elements of kickboxing. And sometimes we just kind of have to ask ourselves, who do I want to be? Where do I want to go? In order to find our path and to go there. So, okay. So let's get to the next part of this concludes the part get to know yourself. And we're going to get into the like yourself and become friends with yourself part. And actually the next part it's kind of two parts. It's like yourself, become friends with yourself. And what does that say? Push yourself. What? Something. Okay, just like, yeah. Like yourself, become friends with yourself, push yourself to do things. This is part 2. And so I think it is important to, when you ask yourself, who do I want to become? Who do I want to be? It kind of continues with the question of how can I change what I can change? Like, what steps do I have to take to change, to get to the person who I want to be? And this can be really tough to do. And hold on, I need to read this. Oh yeah, that's cool. That's good. Again, okay. When we talk about who we want to be, what we want to change to get there, it's usually the reason why we haven't taken the steps to get there usually is something that holds us back, which oftentimes goes back to some kind of fear, something that's something that doesn't feel like me not getting into martial arts, because I mean, it was not my world. I was actually in fear of people not accepting me and me not being able to do it. And that held me back. And I think that's why we don't change things, because of the fear of failing. And I think it can be really helpful. Again, you can take notes, you can write this down. What are you afraid of? Pick one thing that you want to change in the category of what can I change? And then ask yourself, really ask yourself, go deep. Ask yourself, why am I not changing this? What am I afraid of? And this can be really, really tough. This can be mentally tough. This can be tough on your emotions. This can make you cry. This can make you angry. But really get in there. Get in there and find out what scares you. And then again, ask yourself, okay, what's the worst that could happen? What's the worst that could happen? Again, because usually we create these huge scenarios with, I don't know, demons and lightning striking us from the heavens. I don't know. But we always have these like horror sceneries in our head of what could go wrong and what could happen when usually when we're just like really rationally thinking about it, like keeping our emotions out and just trying to think rationally what really would be the worst that could happen, it's usually not that bad. And it can really help to write it down and just to stare at it face to face and be like, when a page just like tells you, oh, actually the outcome wouldn't be so bad, and then you have no excuse to not do it. It can be really helpful. Yeah, okay. Also, the list we did earlier with the what can I change about myself? What can't I change about myself? You can also do this with the fear thing. You can also ask yourself, okay, what can I control and what can't I control? Like, for some reason, one classic example would be, okay, I'm afraid of what people think of me. So, can you control this? Not really. I will put this into the, you can control it maybe a little bit, like by not being an asshole. You can just kind of control that people might be more more on the side of like liking you. But if you're just a normal, like decent person and you're scared of what people might think of you, I would maybe put this in the what I can't control category. And this helps you to just let it go. If you have a fear and you know you cannot control this, like another good example, and I've talked about this with my friend Misha Tate, is the outcome of a fight or preparation for a fight. If you go into a fight, you know you can prepare yourself. Like the fear of being in a fight is something that where this exercise has like helped me a lot. There are things I can control, which are like how I prepare myself, how I eat, how much I sleep, and all these things. And there are things I can't control, like who am I fighting against? Will I get knocked out, or will I just be there and just kind of freeze and have the worst performance ever? And everybody will think I'm a loser because this is a rational fear of fighting. And this is something I can't control. But because I have the part where what I can control, like I could control preparation, I could control nutrition, sleep, all these things. If the worst thing would happen, which probably won't, because my friends will still be my friends, even if I like look like a loser in a fight. But even if I get knocked down or whatever, knocked out, because I did whatever I could have done to control the situation, if I still lose because of the things I couldn't control, I'm gonna still feel proud of myself. And I think this is really important. So I hope this example helps you to kind of know what I mean. Okay, moving on. So we had the first part, get to know yourself. We have the second part of like yourself, become friends with yourself, and push yourself, which is yeah, just kind of find ways to do the things you don't want to do in order to become who you want to be. And or maybe let's not move on yet. I want to emphasize that second part of liking yourself, starting to like yourself, become friends with yourself, and push yourself to do things. It's not just about picking a hard thing to do and then doing it, or like doing little steps to get there. This is one part of it, but I also want you to, in this process, just be with yourself, sit with yourself in silence. This can be meditation, but this can also be something I call dating yourself. Have you ever had a date with yourself? When I have a date with myself, or what I consider having a date with myself, is, let's say I'm home alone and I want to just do something nice for myself. What for me that would look like, let's say it's fall, like it is now. That would be like maybe getting to a warm bath, ordering pizza, getting a glass of wine, sitting in the bathtub and watching my favorite show, or even better, not watching my favorite show, but just sit there with my thoughts and reflect on myself, thinking of myself. Actually, this is a really important part. Leave your show out of the equation. You just want to be with yourself. You just want to take these little moments where you date yourself, where you kind of just sit in silence and feel what you feel. And again, go deep. Kind of ask yourself, okay, again, who am I? What do I like about myself? Where do I want to go in life? What is holding me back? Okay, what maybe made me the way I am, and what has been challenging for me? What is something that I'm good at? And just kind of get to know yourself as if you were on a date. When you go on a date with a guy or a girl or whatever gender, you ask questions and you get to know the person. And one really important thing is you are nice to that person. So if you date yourself, just take a little time and ask the deep questions and answer those deep questions. No judgment. Also, be nice. Just be nice. And the more you do this, the more you sit in silence with yourself and just kind of observe your thoughts and go ask the hard questions, the more you will start to like and accept yourself. Don't judge. This is really important. Try not to judge, but only observe. Ask the question, answer the question. Try to use it as a tool to understand yourself better. Okay, so now we're done with the second part. And we're going to move on to the third one. The third part is just reflecting on things. Let's say you did make a change with something. Maybe you got out of a bad relationship, or it's something simple as you finally decorated the living room the way you wanted it to, or you got in a fight, or I mean, not a fight on the street, but shouldn't do that, but just a fight in the ring or whatever. Reflect on it. Look back and read your notes again, like the ones you wrote down, where you wrote down what your fear is and what holds you back and what you're afraid of, and what's the worst that could happen. Just go back and read it, and then be proud of yourself. Simple as that. Be like, hey, yo girl, see what you did? That shit is insane. And that's what you need. That's how you need to treat yourself. Treat yourself like you were your best friend. Don't get cocky, but just be nice to yourself. Empower yourself. Support yourself. Look back at your achievements. Look back how far you've come, and remember that you can go even further. That's what I want you to do. Reflect on everything that you achieved, which is actually why this little trophy is behind me. It's not a big thing at all. I had one big fight. I had some play fights, nothing serious, but I had one bigger fight, one so far. But because I'm proud of myself for doing this, my trophy is here, and I can always look at it and be like, I did this. And even though I was scared, I did it. I'm fucking proud of myself. And now I'll do it again. And that's just something that, like, 20-year-old me, who thought fighting is something other people do, or martial arts is something other people do, would have never thought. So reflect on your achievements. And they don't have to be achievements to others. This is really important. They only have to be achievements for you. That can be even something like, let's say you have anxiety and you don't like being around people, and you kind of want to break that habit. Like, I'm not a psychologist, maybe you shouldn't do that, but you know what I'm getting at. Maybe you finally managed to be around a bunch of people and still feeling like having a good time, or whatever achievement it is. But you're not at the end yet, because there's still things holding you back. I still have things holding me back, but sometimes you just gotta, like, kick yourself in the butt, so you can repeat and repeat and repeat this process of because we are always changing, right? You can start asking yourself, who do I want to be? Where do I want to go? Okay, what steps do I have to take to get there? Okay, what scares me? What's the worst that can happen? Blah, blah, blah. Oh, okay, I did it. I reflect on it. I'm like, okay, look what I done. And just keep repeating this throughout your life, because we never stop learning. We're never fully developed. We keep changing, and that's okay. And that's the way the world is. And we keep growing. And I think that's something that's the beauty of it all. We keep growing, we keep changing, our goals change. And the beautiful thing is we can be who we want to be. And I know that sounds cheesy as fuck, but we can be who we want to be, and we can go where we want to go. And yeah, I think that's something really important. You have to fall in love with yourself, because the more I heard, like, I don't know if you guys know Lisa Bilyeu. If you do, awesome. If you don't, check her out. She has this podcast, Women of Impact. It's a podcast and it's a YouTube channel. Really cool. Check that out. And she blew my mind in her book when she said, it's not, hold on. I need to search this. No, I can't. It'll take too long. But it's something like along the lines of, you don't get more confident because you do hard things. No, I gave it away. Hold on. You don't do hard things because you're confident. You get more confident because you do hard things. And that blew my mind. It's not, we always think confident people do the hard shit, but actually it's the other way around. Doing the hard shit makes us more confident, makes us more aligned with ourselves. And I think that's really powerful. And I think, yeah, this is it. This is what I got for you today. And I really hope this was helpful. Again, hit me up, my 22 subscribers. Let me know what you think. If you're watching this, please consider subscribing. Yeah, this was it from me. Please check out my social media accounts. You can actually find me on tanjamader.ch. That's TANJMADER.ch. That's my website. It's in German, but you also find all of my social media on there. If you want to hit me up somewhere on Instagram, on LinkedIn, or on YouTube. Facebook, I'm not really using anymore, but I still have the profile. Also, if you're in Switzerland and you want to have a fucking cute freaking plushie, a black cat with boxing gloves on, with a little hood and an even smaller little cutesy tail and toe beans, I can send you. Her name is Kiki, short for Kickboxing Kitty. I can send you one if you're in Switzerland. 65 francs, shipping included in Switzerland. And yeah, that's it. This is for my part. And yeah, don't forget, you are stronger than you think. You really are. Do these exercises. Let me know how it worked out for you. And that's it. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.